So we did our database project, and my name is Haley Dutra.
I'm Elias Rivera.
I'm Francina Castro.
And Emily.
So a little bit about what we're going to be talking over today is the survey that we had created, what results we got from the survey, some data that we had collected and thought that was interesting, and then a quick wrap up and to conclude our presentation.
Here is our survey. We surveyed drug use on Fresno State students. There's a variety of questions, and we will focus on 8 specific questions, which we believe to be the most interesting and informative to you guys.
The following here are a list of all the results from the data we collected. We each took a couple of questions that we felt were important to us, and we created slides, and we're going to present that to you in this presentation.
So this is graph 1. It is the drug use population. I got the results from the question, have you ever used any of these drugs? If so, mark all that apply. And the answer options that were created was alcohol, marijuana, stimulants, sedatives, and all. And I thought that the results were interesting because I didn't expect that the highest percentage be people over 48 who had selected all. And also something else that I found interesting as well is that people in their 30s and 40s drank more than people in their 20s and 30s. And I thought this was interesting because I would have expected the opposite as people are entering their college years and partying years in their 20s. But that is what we found interesting about this part of the survey. In the second graph, it is talking about drug exposure, and I collected the results from the question, does your environment or lifestyle expose you to drug use? The answer options were either yes or no. 34% said yes, and 66% said no. And when looking at the results, I thought that it'd be the opposite, where more people would say yes than no. So I thought that was something that I found interesting about our data results from our survey.
This is a slide that I created, and this is, have you been offered drugs at Fresno State? I chose this slide particularly because I was interested in the over 48 age demographic. That is the age demographic I'm in. And being a senior at Fresno State, I just was curious what the results were. So what I found was 20% yes and 80% no. So 80% of the students at Fresno State over 48 years old have not been offered drugs at Fresno State. I believe that. I kind of feel that that is pretty accurate. My years and experience at Fresno State have been pretty much uneventful. That's fair to say that, in my opinion, people of the older age demographic, they're just not being offered drugs at Fresno State. I chose to dig into a little bit deeper in regards to the students between the ages of 18 and 25. Again, me being an older student at school, I have children in this age. I say children, young adults. 2 are still college students. So I was curious to see what the younger population reason is for drug use at Fresno State. I was surprised to see that 31% of the students attributed to stress, while 69% say for recreational purposes. I believe that. I thought that it was pretty accurate reflection. And for the age demographic of 18 to 25 year old, sounds about right.
So the question I chose to do a graph in is, what is the frequency of your drug use as a Fresno State student for the age of 18 to 25? And the responses for this question was very interesting. I do feel like this is accurate since a lot of people don't use consume drugs on a daily basis. They usually use it when they do go out for recreational purposes. And I found it very interesting that not a lot of them were being used daily. It was really surprising for me. And then the next question I chose to do another graph on was, how do they feel that drugs help them fit in or be accepted by social groups or peers? And this question was based on the ages from 18 through 25. It was interesting to see that not a lot of them felt the need to consume drugs in order to feel accepted by social groups or peers. I feel like this is correct since not a lot of people use it for this certain reason. They use it mostly for recreational purposes.
Drug drug types used. I focus my question on have you used any of these drugs? Specifically, what type of drugs being used? The options that we gave was alcohol, marijuana, opioids, stimulants, sedatives, all listed options, and others. For alcohol, we received 43%. For marijuana, we received 9%. Opioids, 0%. Sedatives, 0%. All listed options, 30%, and others, 13%. Our survey focused on, I specifically chose the option of the age 26 through 33. I believe it was interesting because this is a range in a person's life where they might be the busiest and where it is the most important years of their lives. So I wanted to see what was going on with their substance use, if any, during knowledge of drug risk and consequences. I focused on the question, how much do you know about drug use, risk, and consequences? The reason why I focused on this question was to see what the age group of 18 through 25 knew about what they were consuming, if any. The answers were not much, 3%, some knowledge, 32%, very knowledgeable, 64%, and others, 0%. As you can see, I used a bar graph, and the most common answer was very knowledgeable, which is good, but at the same time can be deceiving because if the students are very knowledgeable but still use the substance, then it is not a good sign. If anything, it is concerning since they are aware of the issue.
Okay, so this concludes our slide based on the information we gather from our surveys from our drug use and Fresno State students. We hope that this presentation was very informative towards you guys and you guys were able to see the results that we gathered. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.